Thank you, Carmen. Thank you very much, everybody, for your comments. I'm James Serrano, Transportation. I'm the local guy. I'm the one that people are going to come to tomorrow and say, what are you going to do about this? That's going to be me. Yes, and we will take a look at our notes and take a look at these suggestions. They're very good. We are constantly working with schools. Schools are our priority when it comes to traffic safety. When we get a complaint from school, we meet with the principal right away, or whoever it is that brought that to our attention. If you see something that may need some attention, a faded sign, or a missing stop sign or something like that, let us know so we can take a look at that. If your crosswalks are fading. We do have a regular, in the summer when school is out, we do take a look at the striping and update those. You see new signs when you come back in the spring. And so we try our best to keep that going. I like the ideas. We work on some of these in different locations. We're going to continue to do that and take a look at what we can do. I just wanted to point out a lot of the discussions and the problems that were described, the behavior problems. And to solve these problems, we need to have a combination, what I call the 3 E's. And I appreciate Carmen talking about safety as well, and other benefits of traffic safety and of walking and biking, because we need to include that as part of the solution. The first E is engineering. It's what we do. Benny and Enrique and I work on a lot of engineering pieces to try to solve the problems and looking at the conditions, the accidents, collisions, and then try to come up with a recommendation for that safety. The next piece is enforcement. So when a flashing sign that tells you, hey, you're going 45 miles per hour, after a while you see that, those drivers, what's the response to that? Some of us are going to be, okay, I'm going to slow down. But a lot of us are going to continue driving at the speed we're driving. So we need enforcement as part of that solution. Third is education. There's a lot of folks who may not understand what the regulations are, and they need to understand. And I think the schools are going to be a good partner. They are an education institution. We need to somehow bring back the traffic safety piece to the kids, because the kids grow up to become parents that drive the kids to the schools. And if we don't have that as part of the, I remember when I was younger, kids were actually the ones who did the crossing guard work, or they had people with special sashes. These are the police, the children, the young police or something like that, young cadets or something like that. And I think those people grow up with an understanding of what the rules are. And I think that's something that needs to come back, because like I said, they'll grow up to be the future drivers that bring their kids to the school. So that's one piece. So education is going to be important. The outreach that was discussed, that's going to be very important. In the past, we had programs like that, and we'd like to bring that back. So we will be working on these ideas that we have right here. And again, I thank you for bringing to us. In the short term, we're going to bring back a list of improvements to the committee that the city has with the schools. Some short-term, by June, bring up some short-term fixes that we can work on, and in the long term, we'll take a look at the other suggestions you have over here. Some of these have costs, and some are more effective than the others. So we'll take a look at the best solution, and we encourage you to contact us if you have anything in mind.
Hi, I'm Todd Buck. I'm the Deputy Executive Director of the Transportation Agency in Monterey County, and we work as a special district, work with the city of Salinas and the other 11 cities and with the county in identifying priorities for our region, for big projects, but also small projects. And mainly we're focused on, for the small projects, helping fund them and identify funding, and let the cities work on the implementing the projects. So we've, I know Carmen because we've worked with the health district in the city of Salinas, grant program, where we received funding for the Safe After School project in the city of Salinas in each of the 4 cities in the South County. And those are going to go into construction this summer and fall. So we have a lot of experience in going after money. But fundamentally, we're in a crisis as far as our funding for transportation in the state. The 18 cents gas tax that was enacted back in 1994 hasn't changed at all. So back when a gallon of gas was $1.11, you paid 18 cents in gas tax, and now you pay 18 cents in gas tax. And effectively, with inflation and costs for doing projects, it's effectively the same as 9 cents a gallon now. And what that's caused is real having to take hard priority on what you can fund with the money that is available. So while we work with the cities and the county and trying to get our state legislature to address that issue, at the Transportation Agency, our board has adopted an investment plan and looking to put on a 3/8 cent sales tax on the November 2016 ballot. And that is local money that we all can use specifically to address local issues. And so as voters in November, we'll get to decide if that's what we want to do. In the city of Salinas, how that would affect the city, 60% of the total that would be generated, which is $600 million over 30 years, 60% goes back to the cities and the county directly for their use and their decisions how to use it. City of Salinas, that's $91 million over a 30-year period. And your city council will get to decide what your priorities are. I know they've sidewalk repair, street repair, some other safety concerns have been identified. But that's the solutions you're talking about, how to implement them, being able to fund them is a key part of that. And then beyond what goes back to the cities directly, there is a $20 million pot of money for safe routes to schools. And that will be a program that gets distributed to all the cities as well. And we really look to help match money and bring in state grant money, like the projects we've done with the city and with the health department, and leverage our local money so it's not just $20 million, but can we leverage the $40 or $60 million by bringing in state and federal funds. So I like the ideas. I really like the projects where not only are you helping reduce speeding, but you're also making it safer to walk and bike around, because those are all multipliers, and I like that's my favorite solutions to problems. Thank you.
I'm Jerry Ross. I'm the traffic sergeant with the Salinas Police Department, and as a matter of fact, I'm the entire traffic unit. So just to address the thing about shift change, our day shift officers get off work at 5:30 in the afternoon. Our second watch officers come in at 3 in the afternoon, so there's a 2.5 hour overlap. At no time is there a time when all the officers go to the station and so that other officers can come out on the street. The street's always covered by at least one shift. Another thing that was mentioned was a gentleman saw the highway patrolman giving out tickets. We have a program called the STOP program that's shared between all the Bay Area, Monterey Bay Area departments, us and CHP. So once a month, officers from Marina, Monterey, Seaside, sometimes Carmel, CHP, and Salinas all get together and we pick a city. We take turns going to a city. So one day it might be Seaside. All these, we'll have 10 to 12 officers in Seaside doing nothing but writing traffic tickets. And so twice a year, probably, it's in Salinas. And so it's really refreshing to hear it. You know, I was listening on the radio and you just hear officers constantly doing traffic stops, writing tickets. And, you know, I could just imagine if we had 8 to 10 officers of our own traffic officers going out and doing that every day, what a difference that would make in controlling traffic speeds, etc. But that's just not the case right now. You know, with Measure G passing, there's a lot of money in the city to hire police officers, but we're down 30 police officers right now. We have 134 officers. When I started 25 years ago, we had 145 or so. So right now, we're trying to get this higher. We're having a hard time finding qualified people. The chief also got a grant for 8 SROs. You know, once you get those SROs there, you're going to have an officer at the schools every day. And an officer can go out during school pickup and drop off times and do traffic enforcement. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be at least a year or two before that comes about. but that is, you know, sometime in the future and not too distant future. Like I said, I'm the only traffic officer in the city, so I do try to come out when I can. Unfortunately, I've got a lot of administrative duties, so like for the last week, I haven't even been able to leave the office. But this is one of my favorite places to actually come because Palma, Washington Middle School, and this school, when they're all coming at the same time or picking up at the same time, it becomes a mess. And like the mayor said, he could make a living out here, and I'll write 10 tickets every afternoon within a half an hour, you know. But unfortunately, that happens once. I might do it 2 days in a row, and then for a month, I don't make my way out here. Everett Elmhurst High School is another school that has a lot of problems. I went and spoke with them about a month ago, and I went out there a couple of days in a row and wrote a bunch of tickets, and then again, it's the administrative duties step in, and then I don't have a chance to go out and do that stuff. The busiest time of day for the police department is between 2 o'clock and say 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. So it's, you know, I encourage the patrol officers to come here and do traffic enforcement during the afternoons and go to the schools. Unfortunately, you know, most of the time they're tied up. And when they're not tied up, a lot of officers have other things, projects they're working on. You know, there's drug dealers in Chinatown, there's gang members on their beat that they're keeping an eye on. And it's sometimes hard for them to pull away from that kind of stuff to do traffic enforcement at the schools. Even though personally I feel that is even more important, but you know, other officers have their priorities too. We do have some grants from the Office of Traffic Safety. This year they came out to like $350,000, and that money is spent mostly to pay officers overtime to do traffic enforcement. One of the problems with that is, though, that at least $250,000 of that is dedicated to enforcing DUIs. So we're not even allowed to start most of these shifts until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 5:36 in the afternoon. A lot of it is for DUI checkpoints and stuff like that. We do have what we call a traffic enforcement grant, and that is just for officers to be hired on overtime to come out and write tickets. And so I tell those officers every time they come, they normally work the daytime, they normally work 8 to 10 hour shifts, and I tell them, make sure you hit the schools during the times they get out or the times they come in, whatever you start your shift. So they do that, but that's maybe a half an hour out of their day. So we're doing the best we can with what we have. I see a bright future. There's, you know, there's several reasons I think the police department is having trouble hiring people right now. Hopefully that will turn around, and when we are at full force, when we get those additional 30 officers, we're going to be a lot more involved